Sacramento!
Hello and welcome to the 916 Republic podcast. I'm Nolan and today I'm joined in the studio by none other than Scott Waits and Zach Winnick. Boys, how are we doing this evening?
Glad to be back.
It's good to have you back, Zach.
I feel like it's been a while.
It has been.
Yeah, it's been a weird off season.
Yeah.
I mean, it's our first one, so we didn't really know what to
Yes,
expect. But
yes.
hey, here we are.
And it is also the off season. So
Yeah. The off season is just weird.
Yeah.
just
How are you, Nolan?
I'm doing quite well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did you go for a bike ride today? I
went
saw you
for
had
a
your
run.
bike.
I did have my bike. I did go ride my bike a little bit today, but for exercise I ran. For
Okay.
training wise I ran.
So biked for pleasure.
Biked to get to class
Okay.
or to a meeting and then biked to get out of the meeting.
a meeting.
And then with my professor about my paper.
Oh.
Your paper.
Mhm.
Oh.
Yes.
I meant that to be like a sexual joke, but
Oh.
nobody picked up on it. I thought I was
Yes.
waiting for somebody to say something. And
Like, paper.
Yeah.
Is that what the kids are calling it these
That's
days?
what they call it.
Okay, well, on that note, hey, look us up on social media. We are on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Reddit. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, get on
social
Facebook
media.
and like our page. I have no idea how Facebook works.
But we gonna figure it out,
yeah,
baby.
Yeah.
I boosted it for like $5 and got a bunch of fake ass followers.
Did you really?
Yeah. So
Hey, if you're one of those followers,
if you're one of them, thank you.
you
you're
fell
not-
into the trap of
yeah.
Facebook marketing.
If you're in Thailand
it just
and
felt-
you don't know what the heck
Yeah,
916 Republic
that's literally
is.
what it is. It's like people from like Africa and stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
But,
awesome.
Hey, now they're learning about Sacramento soccer.
There
so
you go.
Happy for them.
Positives.
Yeah,
Positives.
positives. Zach, what do you post on the gram? What do you do on the gram? I don't have Instagram really, so
No.
what's the activity like?
Anytime we're posting our podcast, I'll put a post up. Anything big that goes on, like
Yeah.
a signing or something like that, I'll post. Or just like a news, anything big. The little things, I like to think like the little things here and there, the kind of daily stuff. Go find that on our Twitter. Okay? The like big highlight stuff of the like week.
Right.
In the off season, maybe like every couple weeks, maybe big stuff every month. Go look in our Instagram.
Got it. Cool. Yeah. And then we're on Twitter, Reddit. I mean, we don't have like our own Reddit. We just go on the Sac Republic Reddit. But yeah,
We have
that
our own
is-
Reddit account.
we do. We have
Yeah.
like our own
Yeah.
like personal stuff.
Not a thread.
Yeah.
though.
Yeah, but we don't have our own subreddit.
Yeah.
Is what it's called.
And I would say, if you want to talk to us, if you want to like communicate with us, DMing us on Instagram is a good way to do that.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm going to see
And-
that
and Twitter.
quickly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
We also have an email. We never check it, so don't even try.
Yeah.
that's not a good idea.
We also have a Patreon. You can find us on Patreon, 916 Republic.
Pay for those Facebook boosts.
Yeah. More like pay for the mic stand that we just got
Yes.
Zach. And
I am very happy.
the other piece of equipment that we are about to buy, hopefully within the next couple of weeks, that are going to allow us to do a lot more interviews. So if you like the Hayden Partain interview,
Yes.
if you liked the interview that we did with Mark Briggs and Rodrigo Lopez, if you liked those, hey, send us some of your cash so we can do more of those. We
cash
can get
money.
more of that content out.
We just
want to
give you. We just want to give you guys content. That's all we want here. All right. It's a selfless ask.
Super selfless.
Yep.
Then other news.
All right, transitioning to our women's national team review. Look, the women, they won 4-0, and people are pissed, okay? People are not happy. All right, how dare we? How dare we win only by 4 goals? How dare we wait a minute and a half to score our first goal?
Yeah.
All right, so there's been some criticism around the, the news outlets and even amongst this table. Just to review, the women won. They won 4-0 against Haiti. I thought they looked really good. They could have easily won 6-0, 7-0.
It also could have been 1-1 at 17 minutes.
It should have
Haiti
been.
not been,
I
yeah.
think that's what people are frustrated about.
Is that
Is
like Haiti had a chance?
like, okay, you score within a minute and a half, and you just expect to, be up by 3 goals
Yeah.
by halftime, right? Well, that didn't happen. They should have been tied 1-1, but for some reason, the Haitian what's that called? An Olympico? When you score from
from
a
the
corner kick, a direct.
I call it a Tony Kroos because that's
Tony
the
Cruz.
last time I've
Yeah,
seen
Tony. Yeah. It's called an Olympico.
it. Okay.
But for some reason that was called offside. I don't understand it. They should have been tied 1-1,
Yeah.
and I think, especially because the game at halftime was 1-0, I think people were like uneasy, and then the U.S. came out and scored 3 goals in the second half, and looked dominant.
Yeah.
So
And to go off of that, Haiti, they look good. I think Haiti looked better than we expected them to, and we still won 4-0.
I think there were some Haitian midfielders that were riding some hard challenges, especially from Julie Ertz, that I was like, dude, like that girl, whoever that is, I didn't even catch her number, but like I was like, that girl can play. So and that happened a few times. So I think I agree with you. I think Haiti actually didn't look that bad.
Yeah.
And we still won 4-0. I was very happy with the performance. So that's our women's national team.
Yeah.
I believe Nolan's going to talk to us a little bit about our men's coming
So
up.
so really quick, the USA women play Friday. So we are recording Friday. They play today. We are releasing this episode on Monday. So they will have already played against Panama.
Right.
So sorry, we don't have that review.
The women will have already played.
The women will have already played against
and
Panama.
the men will have already played it against Costa Rica.
Yes.
So the U.S. men's national team is going to be in the U.S. or in Costa Rica. How do I never look this up until we start recording?
It's in LA.
Okay, it's in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Very close.
Los Angeles.
They're playing Costa Rica. It is a friendly, so there's nothing that rides on this other than FIFA World Ranking numbers, which
Right.
isn't even that much because it's only a friendly. And the players that are in the January camp with U.S. men's national team are not the usual faces that you see in the men's national team camp. So we have, I feel so stupid now. I have none of their names, but one of them happens to be from, played for Orange County for a couple. Anyway, it's a lot of U23 players. There's a lot of U17 players.
Brian Kayao. That's who you're
from
thinking
Orange
of.
County.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
He signed with Orange County, but I think is
unattached currently.
he is trying to sign in Europe.
Yeah,
Once he turns 18. So he's 17
Yeah.
right now.
I'm pretty sure they're doing like under the table negotiations right now. And once he's 18,
Right.
Wolfsburg will go in for him. is
Something
what-
like that,
what
yeah.
the rumor is. But anyway, really, really talented U23 and U17 players for the men's national team, plus the usual MLS standouts,
Yeah.
minus Michael Bradley because he's super hurt, and someone from Seattle because he's got to go play in the CONCACAF Champions League.
Jordan Morris and Christian Roldan left camp
Yes.
to go train with Seattle,
Yeah.
who Sacramento will be playing in like a week.
Super exciting. Yeah.
Not
Yep.
even a week. It's like 5
Couple
days. Like when this episode
next
comes
week.
out, they'll be playing this
Yeah.
coming Wednesday. It's like
That's
2
dang.
days.
Yeah.
Dang, that's crazy.
So yeah.
Yeah,
Things
you'll
you
see.
might. What?
Yeah, I was just gonna say you'll see the big names you'll see, or quote unquote big names you'll see.
Yeah.
Paul Areola,
Yeah.
Jesse
Jesse
Zardes, Reggie Cannon
the
plays
two
for
center
Dallas.
backs.
Zimmerman will play.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, and what I heard to expect from this game is like the spine of the team will be those seasoned senior national team players, but then there's going to be maybe a center back who's a U23 player who's partnered
Yeah.
with a Walker Zimmerman, and there might be a winger that gets put in that is a U23 player that.
So
That
I've
starts.
got the roster right here. Is
Thank
the goalies Bill Hamid, Sean Johnson, JT Markinkowski, who went back to San Jose. He was sent back, and Matt Turner. So Matt Turner is probably the U23 goalie there. And then the defenders are Julian Araujo, Reggie Cannon, Chase Gasper, Justin Glad, Aaron Long, Mark McKenzie, Sam Vines, Walker Zimmerman. So Araujo, Cannon, Gasper, Glad, McKenzie, and Vines. Those are all U23 eligible players. I'm pretty sure. And then midfielders, we have Brendan Aronson, Christian Kappas, Brian Kayao, Sebastian Leggett, Paxton Pomical, Christian Roldan, who again left already, and Jackson Ewell. So Aronson, Kappas, Kayao, Pomical, those are all U23 eligible. I think Ewell is as well, but I'm not 100% sure. He might already be too. Actually, I think Ewell is U23 eligible. And then forwards, Paul Areola, Jesus Ferreira, who his FIFA papers to switch from Colombia or Mexico, I can't remember. His former nationality to the U.S. just passed, so he's eligible to play. Jonathan Lewis, Ulysses Lanes, Jordan Morris, who again left already, and Jesse Zardes. So Jesus Ferreira, Jonathan Lewis, Ulysses Lanes, those are all guys that are U23 eligible.
And that's the U23 team is significant because the Olympic team for 2022 is a U23 competition. I don't know. I didn't know that until like 2 years ago.
Mhm. For the men, it's a U23 competition.
but
for the women, it's a senior.
Not. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Double standard.
Did not know that, actually.
Well, it's
Anyway.
because there's no other women's.
there's no other women's
there's no women's
competition.
Gold Cup.
Yeah.
Or there's no, it's
Yeah.
just
The Olympics.
Olympics and the World Cup.
Yeah. So Olympic qualifying, it's the U23's team, so look for those guys to do that. That's that bit of news about international soccer. Also in the news, Ben Gumpert has been snapping necks and cashing checks this year. And he was recognized by the Sports Business Journal for being being in the 2020 class of 40 under 40. So I guess he just makes a lot of money and does a lot of good work in the sports industry.
Yeah.
So they recognize him for it.
All it said was like the 40 sports executives under the age of 40 that should be recognized this year. So there were people from like broadcasting agencies or sports teams or league offices, ownership groups. So
Yeah.
He
was
congrats
great.
to him.
Congrats, yeah.
People, I saw a lot of, other people within the team say, hey, well deserved, which like he got a team promoted, quote unquote, air quotes, promoted, financially promoted, I guess, to Major League Soccer. So yeah, hey, good job.
Yeah, true.
And it was long fought. Okay, moving on. Open Cup round 2 matchups are out.
Set.
Sacramento will play the Oakland Roots at the Papa Smurfies.
Papa Smurfs.
April 8th, which is a Wednesday, I believe, because it's either Tuesday or Wednesday, but it's April 8th. Mark your calendars. This has been dubbed the Hella Cup.
Yes.
We have
Been dubbed
also
a couple things.
We've also contributed. Somebody I saw somebody on Twitter say the Hella Derby.
Hella Derby.
I think that's a little
Derby.
That's a little strong for teams that have never played before.
Yeah.
We've also submitted the Cannabis Cup.
I like that.
Uh-huh.
I feel like that's not a bad one.
No.
There was another one. I forget what it was.
The Not Southern California Cup.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. It wasn't
I don't
that.
know. Yeah,
It was forgettable.
there were some other ones.
It's exciting.
But we are excited to play Oakland. They have some former Major League Soccer players. Oh, you have another one.
The Yay Cup.
The Yay Cup.
Why is that
The Yay area. That's what people say.
Like the Bay Area.
The Yay.
oh.
The Yay Cup.
But like Sacramento's not the.
No, it's
Nope.
not.
Have you heard of Have you heard of the Louisville, Indianapolis, or Indy 11?
No.
So they're like the Louisville, Indianapolis area proximity derby or something.
Oh my god.
It's some like big
some-
long abbreviation.
It's literally hundreds of miles
Goofy
apart.
thing.
Right. That's what's like.
Oh.
They're kind of within the proximity area of each other.
Sort of, kind of, sort of, not really.
Kind of Midwest, kind of
Yeah.
South, kind of.
Well, hey,
It's weird. But anyway,
with Oakland, former player, Octavio Guzman?
he was on the roster last year. I haven't seen anything about him for this year.
Okay.
But I haven't been looking. Okay, moving on. Dennis Sanchez has been appointed the new academy director. Cool. I know nothing about him other than he was apparently in that same role at the Columbus Crew.
Crew.
I know nothing about that position.
He's
Other
the
than
head
they're-
of the academy.
Yeah. Okay.
So there you go. Moving on. Josh Cohen was named man of the match this past week for
Yay.
his team in Israel, Maccabi Haifa. Again, goalie, played for Sacramento.
Yep.
And he has been starting. We've said that before. And now he's winning man of the match for a 3-1 win. So apparently he is playing very well. I'm super glad to see him. Would love to see him back in Sacramento, maybe,
Yeah.
for Major League Soccer.
He
That
seems
would
to
be
be
so
liking
cool.
Israel quite a bit.
I mean, if
He's
you're
been
playing well in
well
Israel, I
accepted.
feel like you can move up to a higher league
Yeah.
in Europe. Or, hey, come make your money back with Sacramento.
Stateside.
Yeah.
Finish your electrical engineering masters at Sac State.
Mm.
Also in the news have been some signings and trialists on the Sacramento squad. So, Scott, do you want to take us through who these trialists happen to be?
Yeah, so I'll do the trialists, and then Nolan will get into the signing, the singular
One
signing that we have. So
Uno.
the 3 trialists, first of all, they're all forwards, which I think is significant because maybe we're trying to find a backup forward
Striker,
to play. Sorry,
specific.
yes, central striker specifically to play maybe in front of Mario Penegos. I don't know. We'll see. But the first one is a 6'4" forward out of St. Mary's College of Maryland.
Yes.
Oh, I thought it was
Out of
California.
Maryland.
No,
Wow,
out of
that
Maryland.
threw me for a loop.
Maryland D3 school.
D3 school.
Wow.
You can look up his highlights. His name is Khalid Balogun.
He has some highlights too.
Yeah,
he's D3, but there's some highlights.
He's a humdinger.
He's a little dribbly. Yeah, he's got some
Some
shots.
speed.
The number 2 trialist is Ashkenov Apolyan.
Yeah.
These are all Americans, by the way. He played in Thailand professionally. I think he played in like the 4th division of France, which is not professional. Like literally, it's an amateur league.
Yeah. It's like Sunday League.
Yeah, kind of. And then he also played for the Sounders U23s like a couple of years ago as a 25-year-old. Anyway, and then the last one, who we know literally nothing about other than he's a forward, is Dowdy C.A.? Dowdy C.A.
Dowdy CA.
Yep. Don't Google it. That's all I'll say.
Nope. Not a good idea.
I'm not even going to tell you how to spell it. And those are the trialists. So again, they're all forwards, maybe forward winger. There's some flexibility there, but that's kind of all we know about them.
Yeah.
You could go on YouTube, look up some of their highlights.
It's a developing situation. They could be dropped from the squad next week, and we'll never hear about them
So
again.
I guess
They
some
could
of them
resign.
came from
the
open tryouts or maybe combines, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we're not really quite sure where they all came from, other than a couple of them came from open tryouts.
Yeah.
So that's it.
That's that.
Those are the trialists.
One man whose name is inked in Old Glory red is a new goalkeeper, Adam Grinwis. So
I like him because of the way his hair is shaded.
He is
It's
a ginger.
quite a ginger.
He looks quite like
and it's
Scott.
about damn time, y'all. That's all I'm saying.
You know, honestly, Scott,
Has
you
there-
are getting more and more blonde.
Your
Up top.
hair,
So
but
the
not your
beard
beard.
is still fiery.
So when the sun starts to come out, like it's been pretty sunny recently, my hair gets lighter.
yeah, like at your
So like
wedding.
the summertime, my hair is a little bit more strawberry blonde, and then in the winter, when it's like
Okay.
depressing, it gets a little bit more brown.
yeah.
Got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, at your
it
wedding,
looks
you were. I saw a picture of your wedding the other day. I was like, Scott is blonde in this picture.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But his beard is bright red.
our new goalie, he
And
is
so
a
is
ginger.
the hair of Adam Grinwis.
He sounds like a Harry Potter professor.
He does.
Professor Grinwis.
Professor Grinwis.
Oh boy. Okay.
Professor Grinwis. Anyway,
No.
has there been a ginger on Sacramento's team ever before?
I don't think so.
Wow.
The trainer, the athletic trainer,
Yeah.
has red hair.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
not
I don't
a
think
player.
Yeah, I
Wow,
don't
this is
think so.
groundbreaking. Wow. Anyways,
We
don't.
are inclusive.
Yeah, we're an inclusive club. We have redheads. So we don't know a lot about him other than his red hair. He's played around in MLS. He was with Orlando City most recently. He played for the Rochester Rhinos.
I think St. Louis as well.
St.
Like,
Louis.
but that was like 4 years ago.
Yeah, that was a little while ago. He doesn't have like his compilation highlight videos are from his time at the University of Michigan, and so with these kinds of players, you can infer from what they don't show you what their weaknesses are, and from what he hasn't shown us in his highlight videos, he's probably not very good with the ball at his feet. Which has been a common criticism of Rafa Diaz. I could be totally wrong. I could, but maybe he's just a great shot stopper, and that's what he chose to put on YouTube, and just didn't. It's harder maybe to get clips of like passing out of the back as a goalkeeper. I do not know how that goes, but I'm gonna guess that that's a part of the game that's not like a core aspect of who he is, and so he's gonna have to learn to pass because Sacramento is a team that likes to have the ball sometimes.
And to go off that, it's something Shuttleworth gave us last year, and it seemed to be really beneficial for us.
Mm-hmm.
So, look for him. Look to see how he develops in his game. But I will say, like, he's got some freaking guts coming out off his line on, like, when a striker's coming at him one-on-one, he'll get out there, put his body on the line. He'll come out and grab a ball out of midair from a set piece. Like,
He's aggressive.
Yeah, very aggressive when he's in his own, 18 or so. But
And he didn't play hardly at all for Orlando last
Right.
year. So in terms of like being sharp, he might have to. I mean, it's the off season, but he really didn't play except for in the Open Cup. He did have some penalty saves in a shootout against NYC FC to advance Orlando in the Open Cup.
that's what I saw.
But that's all he played in. And I think the season before for Orlando, he played in like 10 games. So he
He hasn't
he's
been
not,
the guy. He
he's
hasn't been a
not
starter.
on the. He's not a starting quality keeper
Yeah.
in MLS, which is good. Hey, he's got a home.
here.
Maybe he is starting quality. Maybe he's not. We don't know. We'll see.
True.
We'll see what he looks like.
Well, to kind of transition here.
Sorry, last thing about that. He has not been given the number 1 number. Like
Yeah.
he's not. He's been given number 99, and there was the team kind of put out a thing like, oh, they're competing for the number 1 shirt. Him and Diaz. So
yeah. So
that kind of leads me to think like, okay, maybe he's not the straight up quality keeper that we are used to having. Maybe he is. I don't know. And this is just a formality thing. This is maybe just a Briggs like, hey, every position is up for battle. So
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. New coach coming in. Could be. Yeah. So to kind of transition here, we had put out a potential lineup on our Twitter. If you haven't checked that out, go check it out. Go comment. And we're going to discuss it here. We got a lot of awesome response for it. So I'll go ahead and read off the potential lineup that we had, and then we'll just kind of dive into the response that we got. So up top, we have Awasa, Belmar on the right, Warner on the left. We have Roro, Skundrich, and Villarreal in the midfield. And then we have from left to right on the back line, Barahona, Keenan, Hilliard-Ars, and McCrary with Grinwis, Professor Grinwis, in net. And the response on our Twitter was there was a lot of there was a good amount of concern spoken out about the depth at striker and center back mostly. So what do you think? What do you think of that, guys? What do we think of the depth at both of those positions?
I think it's a concern. If we look back on the 2019 season, we saw that stretch in the middle of the run where Cameron Awasa was in and out due to injury, and then he could only play like substitute minutes, and so there was a really Sacramento had a really hard time finding goals in that period, and they dropped a lot of points because of it. And so I think that Awasa, when he's healthy, is everything that Sacramento needs. But it's that
He's one
that
guy.
balance of like you have to be able to rest guys, you have to be ready to have Cameron Awasa go down with an injury and put a guy in who can still win games for you. So Panagos is a forward. He can play the striker role. Belmar, to an extent, has played at striker. So like there's room within the squad already to provide cover, but I think that if Sacramento is serious about this title challenge, they have to take Cam's injury history into account and get a guy who can back him up when he's not fully fit.
Yeah, I mean, Bonoma played so bad that he retired.
Yeah.
So
That did happen.
that's
in
a
case-
legit fact.
In case you didn't know,
It's so sad.
the man retired
Yeah.
this offseason.
Yeah, there were a couple comments about like, oh, we need a backup striker. We need a backup striker. And my response to them was like, name me one team in the league that has a high quality backup number 9.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It just doesn't
it's
happen.
true.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, like I'm struggling to think of a team that I'm like, yes, they have good depth at the number 9 position. It's just hard to find quality backup forwards that'll play for $35,000 a year.
Yeah.
Like if they're that good, they'll go be a
They're
starter
going.
somewhere.
They're
You know?
they're gonna go be a starter somewhere, or they're going up in league.
Exactly. So I'm not that concerned. I think we hit it on the head. If Awasa goes out, Belmar will rotate up, and Formella or Bijev will play in on the wing. And again, as a backup, I'm ecstatic about that. Those are 2 quality players that can play on that side. My concern is more backup in the midfield. We've said that before. Like just looking at our lineup here, it has in like a light shade of gray the backup for each position, and Skundrich has nobody under his name. Roro has nobody under his name, but I'm not that concerned because I think we can play a more of a 4-2-3-1 like we did last year, and we'll be fine.
Okay, yeah.
And then McCrary not having a backup under his name doesn't bother me either because Gomez can do that when he comes back from his injury. But Skundrich, I mean, unless it's Wheeler Omunu, there's nobody else. And if he doesn't turn out to be a quality player, then we're in trouble.
Yeah.
So that's my only concern about squad depth. In terms of the squad makeup itself, I actually feel pretty good about this 11. What do you guys think about this 11?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think if this 11 is healthy, it's one of the best
Yeah, good
teams
point.
in the league. My knowledge of the league is not extensive, but it's a very good team, especially compared to the the team that Sacramento fielded last year. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And off the center backs point, which seemed to be a concern for a lot of people, I'm hopeful for Hayden Sargis.
Yep, one of those.
I think that if we could see Hilliard Ars be a solid center back, which I think is realistic, and Sargis comes up in it, and he's young and he's proven to have a lot of potential. I'm hopeful for that pairing. And when you have Barahona, Sargis fulfilling potential, Hilliard Ars as a solid center back, and McCrary as your back line, that sounds pretty good. So, because people are worried about Keenan, and I understand that, but I'm hopeful for Sargis. So yeah, that is what we have right now as far as a potential lineup. I think the consensus is that overall we're feeling pretty good about it.
Yeah, and I think the last thing I'll say is with the contracted players we have right now, the roster is at 19 before you account these trialists, which you shouldn't. They're not signed yet.
Yeah.
So I really don't know what other signings are going to be made. I mean, if you assume that these two guys from the academy that are on trial, they get academy contracts, that brings it up to 21. Maybe that means Chavez is going to be that backup center mid, but that's about it.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know what other senior signings are going to be made. I think the squad is done.
Yeah.
I think Todd Donovan and Mark Briggs have done their work to get all first team players in for training camp so that they can start to build this new system with a new coach.
And just a little rabbit trail here, just off of Mark Briggs, something that Hayden had said to us, Hayden Partain, said to us is that he talked about Mark Briggs getting the best out of Bijev, and it's actually something I think Mark Briggs brought up in the small interview we had with him. Was he brought up the Bijev's name. So I think I'm going to be interested during the season to watch, hopefully, the growth of Bijev in Mark Briggs' system. And so if he can develop Villian Bijev as a really solid backup, I think that's really good.
And we are back from our little break talking about team scouting reports. So we are going to go through between now and maybe the first week of the season. We're going to try to run through the majority of the teams in the Western Conference and give you a 2 to 5 minute scouting preview of that team. A lot of it is going to rely on what we saw last year, the players that they've brought in, and maybe a basic breakdown of the style they're going to play or something interesting or something that we think you should know. So some of them are going to be very in-depth because there's a lot there and they're really interesting and they mean a lot to us. And then some of them are not going to be that in-depth because we just don't think there's anything there. So today we're going to do the 3 California teams that Sacramento's going to play. So Zach has San Diego, Nolan has Orange County, and I, Scott, the Ginge, am going to kick it off with Los Dos LA Galaxy 2. They have brought back, well, first of all, the interesting thing for me that sticks out is they already had like 5 or 6 players under contract, which I think is cool. So they signed guys to multi-year deals. So they're committed to their development. That's interesting, number one. And then they had options for another 5 or 6. So off the bat, they were bringing back a core of like 10 to 12 players, which is very good for player development and building a system to progress players to the next level, which is Major League Soccer. They did change coaches last year. Mike Munoz is gone. I can't remember who the new guys that they brought in. Don't really care that much. They've only brought in one player from FC Golden State Force, who I believe was an NPSL team that is now a NISA team. I can't remember. So they brought in one player, and they're it's just gonna be a lot of the same from them. They're gonna play a 4-3-3. It's gonna be possession based. All the things that we've said from last year, it's gonna be the same this year. There's gonna be a lot of familiar faces. They have, like I said, about 12 players ish under contract. They'll sign 5 academy guys to make it 17, and then they'll loan guys down from the first team to fill out their roster. So all we know is the 12. You can go on the transfer tracker page on the USL website, the league's website, and look those players up. And we're just not going to know who the other players are going to be right now. The biggest loss that they have is maybe they transferred Frank Lopez to Oklahoma City, which is good news for them. They're transferring players. But that's about it. The players that they chose to not sign really weren't big contributors to the team last year. Maybe a defender was a good contributor, but most of the offensive danger that they had last year, they brought back. Same with their midfielders. They brought those guys back. So I think we're going to see a lot of the same names. We're going to see a lot of the same formations, a lot of the same stuff from this team. So my question to you guys is, should we even be concerned about LA Galaxy 2 heading into 2020 Nolan? Start with you.
Of course not. They're just idiots. A bunch of freaking idiots.
Okay.
That's all I got.
Zach, what do you think?
I don't know how to transition from that. I don't know if it was a joke or not.
It is both.
It was both. I think from a playing standpoint, it's a rivalry. Los Dos is always somebody that's going to give us trouble just because it's just a rivalry. But yeah, you just kind of never know what you're going to get with Los Dos because you have players coming up, you have players going down. It is a true 100% feeder team, farm team for the senior club of LA Galaxy. I don't really think there's much else to say.
Yeah. That's the preview for LA Galaxy. So like we said, some will be shorter. Here's going to be a bit longer one. Nolan?
It might not be that long.
Longer than mine is what I'm saying.
It might be.
Yeah.
So I had Orange County SC, formerly Orange County Blues, formerly something else. They pride themselves on having a long history since 2009, but they weren't even the same team, so I don't think it really counts. Their big signing this offseason has been Thomas Enevolson, someone we all know very well. In 2018, when he played for Orange County, he was runner-up for the Golden Boot in the league, East and West, with 20 goals and 10 assists. So contributed a lot to their.
Wow, he had 10 assists.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
Yeah, I know.
Contributed a lot to their forward effort.
He's good.
I don't know whether he played as a striker for them or if
It
he
was
played
more-
a second striker. I didn't even know the system.
He played as a 10, or sorry, as a 9.
Okay. Because he played as a 10 for Sacramento.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so scored a lot of goals there, and we wish him the best success, but just not that much when
Just
they play
not against us.
Yeah.
Or
Or like against really anyone else. Like hope that you.
Yeah, I hope you like are 12th on the table, but that you have a good individual season.
Exactly. That's ideally what we hope for.
But he's 32, going to be 33 midway through the season. Yeah, let's.
I hope they do well enough to just miss the playoffs.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
And he has a great season and has a lot of fun.
Like I hope he scores all their goals,
Yeah.
like 50 goals, but nobody else scores any.
There you go.
And he makes a lot of money. Their big roster retentions this year, they have a 17-year-old goalie in Aaron Cervantes. We saw him when he played Sacramento in the last season. We made a note of it, like, hey, look out for this goalie. He's a kid. He's a decent player. They have a defensive midfielder in Aiden Quinn, who we've talked about on the show before. He was on a 2-year contract, so he's running out the last year of his contract in 2020. We have poor man Solomon Asante, as Scott refers to him, otherwise known as Darwin Jones. He's back with the club. And they also have Harry Forrester, formerly of Rangers and formerly of another like third division English side, and then formerly of an Iranian team because they hated him so much at Rangers they sent him to Iran. I thought it was just really weird. I was listening to I was listening to the Orange County podcast, and they were like, they were interviewing a guy from Rangers. So let me preface this: Orange County right before Christmas. What?
Nothing.
Okay.
I know what you're gonna say.
Okay. They've announced a partnership with Rangers FC, which is a team in Scotland that's really historic and really good.
Yeah.
So they were interviewing like a
Steven
fan.
Gerrard.
Yeah, it's Steven Gerrard.
They're historic in that they went bankrupt and got relegated and
I
then
heard
came
about
back.
that.
Their history goes beyond that, but
Yeah.
that's the recent.
But it's like
history.
150 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now their manager is Steven Gerrard. Anyway, they were talking to a supporters group president or something and talking about their new partnership. And he was like, yeah, we hate Harry Forster because he didn't pass the ball in an Old Firm derby, which is like their derby with Celtic. And so they shipped him off to Iran. Anyway, but he plays for Orange County now, so things are looking up. Yeah, the notable news around the club is their partnership with Rangers. And it actually seems like it's substantive. Like you've seen other teams around the USL form partnerships. I like air quoted that.
Air quotes partnerships,
because they're not really partnerships. Like Phoenix has a partnership with Galatasaray, and I don't even think any of the Phoenix people have been to Galatasaray.
The only partnership that actually like does something is Tampa Bay's, where like they legitimately
Norwich?
get players on loan from Norwich. I think they had 2 players on loan from Norwich last year, and they signed one of them, and then they got a different player on loan this season. So and they're like 20-year-old.
Dang.
Yeah,
that's cool.
And the players actually love it because you play in Florida, and not England.
Yeah. So you get some sun.
That's what they were talking about.
Some beaches.
Yeah. That's what they were talking about with this Rangers partnership. Like, one, it's great for both players on both sides of the equation, but it's going to be something like that Tampa Bay relationship. So like already 3 Orange County Academy players have gone over to Scotland and played with the academy team, and they were like on trial. So there was the opportunity of them getting picked up by the team. None of them did. Aaron Cervantes, the goalkeeper, was one of them.
Experience.
Yeah, you get the experience of playing in Scotland, which is a huge
big deal.
Yeah, I mean FC Dallas has the same thing with Bayern Munich.
Yeah. So that was really cool, and they're really excited about that. Anyway, that's my thought, and that's it.
That's it. Nolan, you have so much more.
I know, but
you don't want to talk about Michael Orozco or no, actually I hate him. Let's skip.
Yeah, Michael Orozco sucks. Boo him whenever he touches the ball. On.
Let's
do we want to talk about the other stuff?
Here?
So they pride themselves very much in like developing youth in Southern California.
This is what I was thinking of.
Okay.
Yeah, talk about this.
Okay, so they made the history books in August of 2019 for signing the youngest ever male athlete to a professional soccer contract in the United States. That's a long thing. But he was like 14 years old in like 6 days or something, like young kid, signed to a pro contract. Don't think he made a start with them.
No, I don't think he did.
Yeah, but he was like on the contract, which was a big deal. And then they also signed for like 3 games Brian Kayo, who is currently with the men's national team at camp. He's only 17, so he's waiting, like we talked about earlier, to turn 18 before he can get signed to an international team, which is a FIFA rule.
Yeah, so I've heard an interview with the GM Oliver Wise.
Yeah.
And he basically says he signs these guys to 4 or 5 year contracts, and then lets them go essentially for free. Like if a team comes calling, they say like, "Hey, we'll let you take him almost for free, but we want like a 25% sell on clause."
Smart.
Something like that. So they're playing the long game. When it comes to youth development and earning money off of those guys.
Yeah.
And there's another guy. There's somebody else, I can't remember his name, that is in Europe right now that came through Orange County and he's on trial and going to sign, and they're projecting to make money off of his sale and stuff like that. So, yeah.
And so sounds really cool. And their partnership with Rangers sounded really cool. And when I was doing all this research, I started to get a little like envious, like, it'd be so cool to have a partnership with like Sheffield United or something like that, or it'd be so cool to have a talented player that was with the men's national team right now. But at first I was like feeling like all these emotions, but then I was like, oh, but put yourself in the shoes of like an Orange County fan. Like literally these partnerships and the talented youngsters are like the only hope you have in your team, because they're never going to be an MLS club. There's already 2.
There's already 2 in
Southern California. There's like, I don't think they even have that the ownership group has that as an ambition of the team of like
no
going to MLS. So like they have no hope of playing in the top division in the US like ever, and they're not the most ambitious, even championship side. So they're not going
This is all they have.
Yeah, like all they have is like, oh, we know just Steven Gerrard.
I would say they're pretty financially in terms of player wages.
Yeah.
They're fairly ambitious. I mean, they give some
Good
players good
contracts.
money.
Yeah.
I would say that Sacramento, in terms of player development, has a little bit longer to go, just because there are some really good clubs in Southern California.
Yeah.
And San Diego, as we're gonna, maybe we won't mention it, was San Diego Loyal, which is a stupid name, but Sacramento kind of had to work their way that way, where Orange County was like, oh, there's all these amazing players, let's just get them in and then sell them. Like we don't have to develop them; they're already being developed. All we have to do is sign them to a contract, wait a couple years, and then sell them for a small fee, and then get our big money when they get sold again in Europe for, let's say it's $500,000. Well, okay, 50% of $500,000 or whatever. Like, that's how they're planning on making money. So,
and it makes sense. Like, Sacramento hasn't been able to do that because they've been so focused on MLS expansion. So you can only have so many chips.
They have other ambitions.
Yeah, and they have the same coach, so you're going to see a lot of the same things.
Yeah,
4-2-3-1. It's
Yep.
Well, let's move on to Zach with San Diego.
Last but not
The
least,
Labradoodles
the
or whatever,
San Diego Loyals. What is a loyal? I do not know.
What is a loyal? That sounds like a poem title.
Loyal. Well, they're the Loyals, plural.
Yeah, so there's plural loyal.
Loyals that are plural.
It's commonly found off the southern coast of Tijuana.
No one just
In the
makes up crap.
1860s, whalers
I'm gonna Google it. Zach, keep talking.
from Indonesia.
This is the Loyals' inaugural season. Despite their lackluster name, they do have a pretty cool crest. I'll give them that. Some fun colors in there. They are coached by the great receding hairline that is Landon Donovan.
Oh, he's full bald, bro.
No, he's not. Well, he won't shave like the sides.
You're right, but
It's just
the
like
top is gone.
give up already. Like just
His hair has given up.
He needs to give up on his hair. Moving on. They're also, on a serious note, their senior advisor is Paul Buckle, which is interesting, and it explains, I think, Buckle's location status as of the last several months. We've seen him. He has a house here, and he lives here in California, but we knew him to be an advisor for Southampton, and we were like, well, that's in England. What is he doing here? And I think this kind of explains that. He is their senior advisor, and I think his influence technically, I'm sure, will be seen on the pitch. And if you want to know more about that, go check out our podcast with Hayden Partain, where he talks about Buckle's technical identity and formation decisions with us.
Great plug.
Always plug, boys. Always
Great
plug.
plug.
To go over some big signings that the Loyals have made. Emra Clementa, a man we know well. I have a signed, game-worn pair of shorts from him that Scott gifted me for Christmas one year. I love those. They're great. I loved Emra Clementa. He was a great player.
I watched him sit on the bench next to Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
Yes. I saw that too. Good caveat into the man has technically MLS experience. He
I think
can.
he played in 2 games.
And
Legend.
he played well. I remember seeing highlights and I was like, okay, he played well. Anyway, he was their second official signing. He plays center back. He can play fullback. And at least at the USL level, we know him to be a dangerous player. Overall, a very good early signing for the Loyals, I believe. Another big signing that they made was Sal Zizzo.
Zizzo.
Like
Sal
Lizzo.
Zizzo.
I like Zizzo because it's close to Lizzo. Anyway, Sal Zizzo, another American defender for the U.S. level. He comes with a great resume. Definitely a player to build around. He's played for Atlanta. He's played for New York Red Bulls, Timbers. He's played for Chivas. He's made some appearances at the international level.
Chivas USA or Chivas de Guadalajara?
Chivas, I believe, USA.
Okay.
Yes, back in the day when that was a thing. He's made some international appearances back in the day for the U20s and U23s. And he also spent some time in the Bundesliga with Hannover. This was the Loyals' first signing as a club. I think is a strong one.
He's from San Diego.
It's a hometown guy, and I think another strong defender. So a good piece to build around. Some other notable players that they've signed: Eric Avila, midfielder; Irvin Raul Parra, forward; Joe Greenspan, another solid defender.
I hate that signing because he's really good.
He is really good, and that makes 3 really solid defender signings.
So is the Raul Mendiola signing that you haven't said yet. But sorry, they're making good signings, and it pisses me off.
You took away my thunder. Raul Mendiola was the man I was going to end with here. Raul Mendiola, 25-year-old midfielder, played for Reno the last couple years.
Last year, the year before, he was with Vegas.
Did he come mid-season? Okay. Played 1 year with Reno. I thought he played 2, but he played 1 year with Reno.
He might have, but he also played with Vegas.
Well, for last year, he's a midfielder, and last year for Reno, he had 4 goals, 8 assists, and a FOTMOB rating of 7.05. If you don't know what FOTMOB is, that's a pretty decent rating. He's a solid midfielder. He's a really good midfielder. And I think overall, it's a good start for a new club. There's a lot of solid cornerstone pieces in place. I think they're going to have a really solid back line there to work from, and Raul Mendiola is a great midfielder at the USL level.
Yeah, it makes me mad.
It makes
Irvin
Scott
Parra
mad.
was really good too. Was he with Austin last year?
Irvin Parra, he was with Seattle, and then he went down to,
Austin.
I think it was maybe Vegas or Orange County. I don't think it was Austin. Had that really old guy.
I'm looking this up.
But Irvin Parra has been around the league, and he's good.
Yeah.
He can score.
Irvin Parra.
And if I could return to what I mentioned earlier, our man with the receding hairline, Landon Donovan.
Yeah.
He is the coach of this club. I watched a clip from him. They had this little video of his kind of first speech to the club. He kind of represented himself as a bit of a hard ass, and didn't really talk too much in that video about tactics or formation wise. And I was just wondering, hey, Scott, maybe what do you think? What do you think this club could look like formation wise? What do you think they'll look like on the pitch?
So I think based on the 10-ish players that they have announced, something along the lines of a 4-3-3-ish. It's hard to tell because I listened to an interview with Landon Donovan, and he skirted around the answer. He was like, yeah, I'm not going to tell you. But
fair.
I think it'll be something along the lines of 4-3-3-ish. If you look at what Landon did well as a player, like where he's played in Germany and in England and in Major League Soccer, I think he enjoys players that are a bit more technical. So I think they're going to try to play beautiful soccer, which is what he said. He's like, we want to play beautiful soccer. So I think he's really going to do his best to do that. And if you look at, Greenspan and Clemente as your center backs, you've got the core right there that can pass. Greenspan maybe isn't an amazing passer with the ball, but he's above average. And then I think Clemente, because his career has been, play as a forward, started his career as a forward, and then has slowly worked back to being a center back. He's good with the ball at his feet. So I think just based on those two signings, based on that interview, they're going to try to pass. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what the formation is.
Yeah.
But they've made really good signings. Raul Mendiola can eat up space in the midfield. Sal Zizzo at right back is going to be probably better than the majority of people that are playing in the league because he played a long time in Major League Soccer. And I don't remember. I mean, Irvin Parra can score when opportunities are created. So I think look for some signings that are going to be maybe some dangerous wingers and then just a couple more bulldog midfielders, maybe one more creative midfielder. I don't know the profile of all the players that they've signed, but if what I'm thinking is right, look for that.
Yeah. Yeah, and if anything, it's something to be looking out for as the season progresses. How is this team playing? Is it working for them? They'll definitely be an exciting, intriguing team to watch.
Yep. Well, that is the end of our show. Unless my esteemed colleagues have any more news or notes to add,
I think we're good.
I think we are good. Well, as always, glory, glory,
Sacramento.